Have you ever been the only in a situation? Like you the only person there that's maybe like the only young guy, maybe you're the only guy, maybe you're the only black guy, or maybe you're just the only whatever identity you want to put to it. How do you feel in that situation? Typically, most people will say, I'm the only, I gotta try to fit in, I gotta laugh, I gotta do a certain thing to fit in, I gotta just be like them. Let me tell you, you are completely wrong, and this is why. Your mindset in that situation has had you completely messed up in every situation that you've ever been in. But I understand where you are. I understand where you're coming from. I've been that person. Typically, 9 times out of 10, I have been the only person in a lot of situations, whether it's at work, maybe it's at meetings, maybe it's in just going to different events. I am typically one of the only young black men, if not one of 2 or 3 in that space. And I'll be honest, sometimes it's very awkward. Sometimes it's very, it can get in your mind. Like you can start to say like, well, am I meant to be here? You have imposter syndrome, or maybe I need to leave, or maybe I got to try to do something to fit in, like maybe laugh at jokes that aren't funny. Maybe it's say things that's not like you, or leave your authentic self at the door because you feel that you don't belong. But again, let me tell you, you're wrong, because your perception has to change. Now, again, before I knew about this mindset shift, I'm gonna tell you, that is how I have operated. I would try to do all these things that were not like me until I shifted into this mindset here. You have to understand that if you are ever a person that is the only in a situation, youngest, the only race, the only man, whatever it may be, you have to understand that you have a competitive advantage. This is the mindset shift. Instead of you thinking, I don't belong to be here, I don't belong here, am I supposed to be here? This is what you think. You think and know that you have a competitive advantage, because here's the thing. In reality, if you weren't meant to be there, you wouldn't be there. That's number 1. Number 2 is that you being the only of anything, regardless of what it may be, you have a competitive advantage because you have a different perspective than everybody that's in there. So you remember that episode off of Timmy Turner? There was an episode where everybody turned into blobs. Everybody was a gray blob. I believe that Timmy wished that everybody was the same because he kept getting roasted for his hat or his color, his pink colored shirt, or whatever it was at that point in time. But if you remember that episode, when Timmy wished that everybody was the same, there was no type of diversity. There was no type of different school of thought. Everybody literally looked the exact same, even down to the shoes. But Timmy recognized that even though he wished for everybody to be different, he still had his pink hat. And that's what made him different from everybody. He was still getting made fun of because of that hat. Point being is that he stood out. Instead of him taking the perspective that he's different and he had to fit in, even though that's what he wished for, he recognized that the fact that he was different, the fact that he had his pink hat on, it actually attracted more people to him. Was it for the wrong reasons in that case? Yes, it was a cartoon. But the point is that the fact that you are different, because you have your pink hat on, or you're a man, or maybe you're a different race from everybody else, you have something to offer. And that is how you are going to have a competitive advantage over everybody in the space, regardless of what it is, whether it's at school, work, a networking event, whatever it may be. You have an advantage because you can share something with other people that they don't know about. You can share your experiences that they may not know about. You have maybe you're the youngest, you have a fresh set of eyes. So you being able to share those things can actually work to your advantage. But here's the thing, you have to recognize that. A lot of us go into these spaces and we feel like we are inferior to other people. But again, if you feel like that, I'm giving you this mindset in this game that you need to understand that you are different, that you have an advantage. And that is how you work the room. That's how you work the space that you're in, by knowing that. So I wanted to create this video to let you know that just because you're the only, just because you're the person in the room that's not like everybody else, work that shit. Like be the person that embraces that, because that is what's gonna help you to level up a lot faster, because you're networking in that way, you're operating in that way, you're sharing your opportunities. Don't be the person that diminishes their light because everybody else is different from you. That's one thing that starts to set me apart, is that I embrace the fact that typically I am the youngest and the only in a lot of spaces that I go in, and I have something different to offer, and that makes me unique. So you have to do the exact same thing. Now, if you're a person that doesn't necessarily know what that uniqueness is to you, you don't know if you are the only and you don't know how to necessarily work it, or you don't know how to make it, or you don't necessarily know how to work it to the best of your ability. You don't know how to network. Maybe you don't know how to necessarily communicate that effectively. I want you to click the link below, schedule a 15-minute call with me. It'll be completely free, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I help my clients figure out what their superpowers are, especially in these rooms. And some of my clients, they come in, they don't necessarily know who they are, how they can connect, but by the end of those 15 minutes, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can take those skills, take your superpower, take your skills, communicate it effectively, even if you're the only in the room, so you can level up a lot faster instead of taking the slow route or being self-conscious or not necessarily knowing how to go about making the most of these opportunities. So go ahead and click the link below. Also like the video, comment, and subscribe as well. And I will see you in the next video. Coach J, out. Peace.